But as we move forward, and we had this experience to some degree in the States, and I think it's probably been observed here in Britain also, that at some point, the hand that life deals us is so significant that regardless of how effective the supports are, one's ability to meet those arbitrary demands set by an employer actually becomes a barrier in and of itself. And if we just stay focused at the support side, all the things that exemplify quality supported employment, and don't deal with the relationship side, there are going to be some haves and have-nots that we had no intention of creating, but that happen in somewhat of a natural way. When this first started occurring to me, I was angry at myself for even considering that could be the case. Now come on, surely if we can be as effective as possible in supported employment, and all that means, a la many of the just excellent things that Steve Baer was saying earlier, surely that means all then for the people that we're representing. And I mean, certainly as my life experience, in other words, my age is increasing. You know, I have to come to grips daily with what amounts to disability. You know, as you get older, things that some of you who are much younger can do, I can't do anymore, you know? And it's not a matter that I don't have good support, or I could not go out and purchase a personal trainer if I really wanted to try to compete. I mean, it's just age, you know? And that's just what all of us hope to experience, actually. I mean, I don't think any of us are hoping to get off the train any earlier than we have to. So the fact is that at some point, whether it's age or disability or other life complexity, we have to recognize that an arbitrarily set of expectations can create a barrier. And at that point, you still want all the effective supports, but you want maybe to then negotiate, you know? And really it occurs to me, I think London's a great example to be in, because bless your hearts, you've got the Olympics coming. And what an interesting event that's going to be, you know, for your country, for this city, certainly, and for the athletes that come here. And talking about the ultimate in competition, the Olympics is just, you know, the absolute ultimate. We know people and we don't know people by performance that's measured in hundredths of a second at times, you know? Now, I think back, I know the name because he's an American, of Michael Phelps, who was a swimmer. I do not know that guy that Michael Phelps touched out at .001. That's parsing life performance pretty narrowly to determine who gets opportunity and who doesn't. And you're about to play that out in what we call pretty blithely competition. In fact, we celebrate it. There's going to be pomp and circumstance and music playing, and yet there are going to be people who win and lose. And we say, well, that's just a game. Yeah. tell the people who are able to make millions, and people who we don't even know their names that, you know. Competition's a tough issue. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just tough, you know. And what we can't have happen is for competition alone to be a determiner of getting a life when it comes to work. I mean, and it's not to say we want special status, but let's examine this competitive reality a la the Olympics that are coming here. I've always been fascinated with the high jump, and physiologically I'm ill-suited for the high jump, you know. I was for all of my life, but I think the guy was American. His name was Fonsbury. He created the Fonsbury flop, you know, and his innovation was jumping over the high jump bar, leading with his head backwards, you know, which I think before that time one led with your lead foot and tried to throw that over, so you actually went over with your abdomen rather than your back. And this guy comes along and he creates this new way of increasing the height. But I think of that bar, that standard of of the two posts and the bar of the high jump. And it's a metaphor, if you will, for competition for me. Because if we were to think about it, and I'm going to make a terrible generalization about you folks, please, but I include myself, so I'm in this with you, you know, that if the standard of life was getting over a bar set at a certain level, none of us would even get into the Olympic trials in our country at the lowest set level. You know, they don't, this is not Special Olympics. They don't set the bar at 1 foot, and maybe, you know, most of us can get over it. The bar to even think about jumping in the Olympics is going to be over my head for sure. It's probably, for men, it's probably set at 6.5 feet, and just a fraction under that for women. So even the gender differences have decreased as strength and competitiveness has grown. And it's a sobering thought that someone like me would stand in front of you and say, I'm sorry, none of us has a chance. Not one of us has a chance. And we can get the best supports, the best training, you know, go to the Olympic Preparation Center in your country or mine, you know, get the best shoes to wear, have people think that you can do it and say, you can do it, you can do it. And still, not one of us could even get over the trials, let alone compete. And yet, any one of us that just had it to do in the Olympics could make a contribution. And I don't mean opening your wallet and giving, you know, your precious pound sterling. That's not what I'm talking. I mean make a real contribution so that without someone like you, it may not be you or you or you or me, but someone like us, the person jumping over the bar couldn't even do it. And one of the things that customized supported employment says is that when complexity of life creates an absolute barrier to employment, or even a significant, if not absolute, barrier, contribution can be a way to get around that. That's the point made here. And you think of all the people who made it so that the person who then, on that day when the high jump finals comes up and whoever it's going to be is using whatever method to get over the bar and someone wins, supporting that person is this whole cast of people making absolutely important contributions that were far more about the basic value of what the person brought than it was about competitiveness. The competitor is the person we're going to see on television. The competitor is going to be the person that stands on the award stand. But the people making the contributions are extremely effective. And that conceptualization, once explained to an employer, now you may not find an employer that would take the time to listen to the metaphor I've just given you, but if we can bring forward a different way of looking at the employment relationship, we've got something of great value. And that's really what I want to talk to you about today.